I'd like to welcome award-winning actor Bruce Campbell to Sidewalks Entertainment. Hi, Bruce. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. What award did I win?
All of them, because you're amazing.
Actually, I have won. I have won multiple Chainsaw Awards and multiple Saturn Awards. That's my Oscars. So thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah. And, I just have to say, all of us here at Sidewalks Entertainment are so excited to have you on our show. So, again, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, it's a classy media outlet, so I have to be part of your show.
You've had and continue to lead such an amazing career. Let's talk about how your career began. How did you start your career as a professional actor?
Evil Dead was really the first thing back in 1979. It was back in the analog age, and it took about 4 years to get that movie made. But in Detroit, there's no place to audition for a movie. Not in 1979. You had to go out west, and that was too terrifying for us. So we managed to put a story together, Sam Raimi wrote, and another partner, Rob Tappert. We approached investors in Detroit, dentists and doctors, and got the money for the first movie. So I put myself in the first movie because I could, because I produced it. And that's my advice to any actor, any starting out actor: become a producer.
So, as you mentioned, you played Ash Williams and you produced the Evil Dead film. And for those of us who don't know, Evil Dead was released, the original Evil Dead film was released in 1981 with a TV series and more movie installments that followed. So, how does it feel to be part of this popular franchise, and what's it like having a continuously growing Evil Dead fan base for over 4 decades?
Well, don't overblow that too much. It's not Star Wars. After the first Evil Dead, Ash is dead. He's dead at the end of that movie. Our second movie was called Crime Wave. We tried to get away from the genre completely: action, comedy, romance, drama, musical number. The film died, and we went, oh no, our career is over. Geez, what if Ash didn't die? What if he didn't die? And so that spawned Evil Dead 2, which then got us a little more into the business and got us going. But, it was a lumpy, 79 was when we made the first one. 86, we made the second one. We made one in 3 different decades. 91, we made Army of Darkness, which killed the entire franchise because it bombed. So it took 15 years after that to get a TV show going. So it's very lumpy, this wonderful, amazing franchise you're speaking of.
So, apart from the Evil Dead franchise, and apart from Hysteria, when you reflect back on all of your work through the years, which other projects or project would you say was some of your most memorable experiences as an actor?
Well, I have a sort of a top five. The character Ash in Evil Dead is top five. I like playing a cowboy, The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. That's a top five. One that was a one season wonder on Fox TV in the 90s, but it was a really cool show, fun part. Hercules and Xena, I played Autolycus, the King of Thieves, on and off for four
Yeah.
or 5 years. And I don't know. I mean, I'm more pigeonholed by fans, I think, than by my own industry. They only watch what they like. So if they only know you from horror, they only watch you in horror. Like the Burn Notice people didn't necessarily watch Evil Dead. So it was a weird thing to experience.
So, when you're off set and you're off camera, what are your hobbies in your free time?
I have a fleet of electric bikes. Some actors collect sports cars. That bug didn't get me. I like electric bikes because I'm surrounded by nature where I live in Oregon, and I just take off on all these Forest Service roads that go to nowhere, and I can go disappear very easily with my electric bike, which now gives me the power to get this geezer up those hills. So, yeah, it's a great place to not be working.
Very, very cool. So now you are Chief Ben Dandridge in the comedy horror thriller Hysteria. Tell me about Hysteria and what caught your interest in being a part of the show.
Well, I get picky when it comes to horror. So what got me was the words. Matthew Caine and David Goodman put together a good premise, which is infect a small town with a satanic panic in the 80s, small town in Michigan, Happy Hollow. I thought that was a good premise. I thought the character of Chief Dandridge was very three-dimensional. He wasn't a cop just wagging his finger, and going home drinking beer. He respects teenagers, and he's the chief of police that I want in my small town. So that's what caught me. And it's Peacock, which is Universal, and I go back to Universal. They did Army of Darkness. Burn Notice was through that. Hercules and Xena. So I actually have a weird connection with Universal.
So Hysteria is heavy metal, comedy, and horror in a 1980s setting. What has your experience been like working on Hysteria in this setting? And what do you enjoy most about being a part of the series?
Well, the setting is cool. I got my Screen Actors Guild card doing a training film for the Chrysler K car in the late 80s. And those were crappy cars back then. And now we're on the film set, we're driving 30-year-old crappy cars. So these cars are not cooperative on a film set at all because they're boxy and horrible, and they're spewing all kinds of leaded exhaust. And it's fun to see phones with push buttons, ashtrays on desks, notepads, pencil, paper. You need to make a phone call when you're on the road. Pay phone, you better have a quarter. I just like that world because now everyone's texting. Watch out, the killer's right behind you. I don't know. I like a world that's a little more disconnected. No internet, no threat, no warning. That's all word of mouth, that's how the satanic panic spread, was just good old fashioned rumors, word of mouth.
So this is a little bit random, but I remember when Waxwork Lost in Time first came out, and I remember you made a cameo in that film. This is going to kind of date me, and the reason why I'm bringing it up is because when I saw you in Hysteria, it had me feeling kind of nostalgic, like reminiscent of the 1980s, if you will. How you said the push buttons and word of mouth and the notepads and everything. So I couldn't help but think, wow, this must, bring back a lot of memories for him.
Well, it's weird to have lived through that period. I was a father of young children during the 80s, so I was aware of the satanic panic, and it's mostly a pushback between whenever there's a repressive society that the young people are going to push back. It happened in the 60s. It happened in the 70s. There's just different ways of pushing back, and music got in a lot of trouble because they're always rabble rousers, and the AC/DC and Kiss, they were scary looking dudes, and you could kind of go, well, geez, are you worshiping the devil?
Bruce, you're so fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. It really, really was an honor.
Thank you for having me, and hopefully we'll get another season to figure out what happened at the end of the first season.
Yes. Everyone, be sure to watch Bruce Campbell in the series Hysteria on Peacock. Bruce, you take care.
Thank you. Thank you very much.